Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like people didn't see your true worth? Where someone judged you without knowing anything about your life? Imagine sitting in a courtroom with everyone staring at you. The judge, a man who's seen it all, looks at you with arrogance and writes you off without giving you a chance. Now imagine the tables turn, and suddenly you have the power in that same courtroom. In a small town, something unexpected happened, something no one saw coming. The courtroom was packed. Some people were there seeking justice, while others were just trying to get through another boring day. But one person in particular made this day unforgettable. At the front of the room sat Judge Richard Holloway, high up on his bench, his fingers tapping the desk in a steady rhythm. He was a man who stuck to routine, older, with silver hair and a face shaped by years of frowning. He had handled so many cases. They all started to feel the same. To him, each person on trial was just another name. But today, something different was going to happen. Something Judge Holloway didn't see coming. His eyes landed on the woman standing at the front, calm, confident, not shaken by the weight of the courtroom. Her name was Danielle Carter. At first, she didn't seem special. She wore a neat navy blue suit, her black hair tied back in a bun. But she carried herself with power. It didn't take long for the judge to decide what he thought of her. In his mind, she was just another person wasting his time. He smirked as he glanced down at her file, amused. Then he looked up and said under his breath, "Another entitled person who thinks the law doesn't apply to them." The courtroom grew uneasy. People looked around, sensing something wasn't right. But Danielle stayed calm and steady. "Are you here to claim you were wrongfully arrested?" Judge Holloway mocked, speaking loud enough for everyone to hear. A few people chuckled softly. But Danielle didn't react the way he expected. She didn't beg. She didn't look nervous. Instead, she gave a small, knowing smile. Not one of fear, but like she knew something no one else did. The young prosecutor, probably in his 30s, cleared his throat to try and calm the growing tension. "Your Honor, the defendant." But Judge Holloway waved him off. "Let's not waste time," he said. "Why don't you tell me why you think you're special?" Danielle's voice was calm and firm. "With all due respect, Your Honor," she said, "I prefer facts over opinions." Her words made the whole courtroom sit up and pay attention. She was different. Holloway's smirk faded a bit. He leaned forward, curious now, but still too proud to show any respect. "Facts, huh?" he repeated with a hint of sarcasm. "All right, Miss Carter. Let's hear her facts." Danielle reached into the inside pocket of her blazer. The bailiff stiffened, ready to act. The judge looked like he was about to say something sarcastic. But then, Danielle pulled something out, small, black, and leather. The room went silent. She opened the case slowly, and inside was a golden badge. Not just any badge, one that shined with serious authority. The entire courtroom froze. Holloway's face went pale. The prosecutor dropped his pen in shock. Danielle calmly placed the badge on the table, like she was laying down an unbeatable poker hand. "My name," she said, her voice steady, "is Special Agent Danielle Carter, United States Secret Service." No one spoke. The judge's arrogance faded, replaced by shock. The prosecutor scrambled through his papers, trying to understand what just happened. How did he miss this? Danielle let the silence sit in the air, then spoke again, her words slow and powerful. "Before we go any further," she said, "it's important to say that my arrest wasn't just a mistake. It was a violation of federal law." The courtroom was frozen. Just moments ago, the judge had been laughing at her. Now, he was clearly panicked. But Danielle wasn't done. She reached into her bag again and pulled out a sealed folder, sliding it across the table. "This," she said, "is an official complaint from the Department of Justice. It outlines all the violations committed by the officers who arrested me, including the fake reports that made it into this courtroom." Judge Holloway gripped the desk so tightly his knuckles turned white. He had nothing to say. Danielle stayed calm, but her words hit hard. "You see, Your Honor," she said, "those officers didn't bother to check my ID. They assumed because of the color of my skin that I was doing something wrong." The courtroom shifted uncomfortably. The prosecutor looked at his notes, stunned. He had missed everything that mattered. Danielle's eyes locked on the judge. "And now," she continued, "I'm sitting in front of a judge who mocked me before hearing a single fact." Her words filled the room. The judge, now completely humbled, looked older, like he had aged years in just one moment. The power in the room had shifted. The tables had turned. Danielle fixed her blazer, calm and confident. "This isn't just about me," she said. "It's about a system that lets people in power abuse that power without anyone questioning them." Then she leaned in, her voice lower. "But today, Judge Holloway, you picked the wrong person to question." The prosecutor, now clearly shaken, stood up. "Your Honor, with this new information, the prosecution asks that all charges against Miss Carter be dropped immediately." Judge Holloway, pale and stiff, cleared his throat. "Case dismissed," he muttered, barely loud enough to hear. He slammed the gavel. For the first time, it wasn't his authority that mattered. It was Danielle's. She gathered her things and walked to the door. Before leaving, she turned back to face the courtroom. Her voice rang out, clear and strong. "Next time," she said, slowly, "think before you laugh." Then she walked out. The door closed behind her, leaving Judge Holloway sitting there, pale, humiliated, and fully aware that his career was over. The world was about to learn the story of the woman who turned the tables in that courtroom. Thanks for watching, and until next time.